Okay, welcome guys. Starting from where we left off last week, we looked at three major tools. We looked at extrusion, we looked at insert edge loop, and we also had a look at mapping those tools to different hotkeys around 3D Studio Max. Now, you may ask yourself, why do I have to go through all of this? At the end of the day, it's all about workflow. It's all about how fast you're able to deliver a job to a client, and the ease at which you're able to access your tools which you use in doing your job is going to affect how fast you deliver. Let me take that again. The ease at which you access your tools is going to determine how fast you get a job delivered to your client. Now, the mindset behind being able to organize your workspace. Now, the guys at Autodesk have done a lot of organization for you, which is based on how you're able to access your tools. So let's just quickly look at what I'm talking about. Now, 3D Studio Max is, in fact, all 3D applications are divided into different islands. This is one island here, and you have another island here, and you have some other mini islands in different places. So you're looking at it, and there's quite a lot of islands all around your workflow. But at the end of the day, this is where your work, let me go to full screen view. This is where your work actually happens. So it will be, for productivity's sake and organization's sake, okay, let's say for organization's sake, it is a smart idea for tools that do similar things to be placed in this kind of arrangement is good. But for productivity reasons, they are too far away from where you actually need them. You need them here. This is where you need the tools. So for the tools to work now, you would need to, you're working here presently, you need to travel all the way here, then travel back, which is not good at all. So let's look at it again. Or you're working here, you need to travel up here. Let's use a, you need to here. You need to travel all the way here, then all the way back. This is counterproductive. It's good for organization that things are laid down in relevant spaces, but how fast you're able to get access to those tools is really going to make a lot of difference in your workflow. Now let's look at it again. If we're working in this present workspace and I need to travel all this way, this far, then I need to look at all the tools that are there to find a particular command. Then when I find the command, I need to now come back here and utilize the function. So if we look at it properly, we have 1 step, 2 step, and 3 step. This is counterproductive. Now I'm going to quickly give you a very good example in this regard. Now here I am in 3D Studio Max, and I've gone to my full screen workflow and I bring in a box. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, good. I've created a box. Now what we've just done is we traveled, we came this way, then we traveled back. Okay, that is a 2-step process. We are traveling, we need to move from here to here. What if in a proper production workflow, we're talking about productivity, speed, you just simply right click and go to your box and have your box done. Everything is actually within the same workspace. You do not need to travel out and back. Now let's say I need my sphere. It's easy for me to just right click here and have my sphere, but you may look at it in the sense that you need to travel here, then come down here, then back again. So you've been able to call down the two-step process and the traveling. You're able to cut everything down and have everything done within your viewport. So a good analogy for this would be you have these are islands. These are okay. Let's do this. These are islands. You have an island here. You have another island here, and you have another island here where you work. So this is where you work. So you need to travel from a place like let's say Ikorodu, for example. Then you go to VI, pick up a tool, then come back to Ikorodu to use the tool. It's good that tools are laid out properly, but when it comes to productivity, you need to organize your workspace. Autodesk does not know how you choose to be productive. You know how you work. So based on how you work, you need to organize your tools and make the tools you use consistently available to you at any particular time. So that's a very good tip on productivity. Make all your tools easily accessible to you at all times. Okay, that's why we need to map out, customize your working environment and map out these tools to different hotkeys. For example, let's go further now. I have this box here. For example, I want to convert to editable poly so that I can use my insert edge loop, because my insert edge loop is not going to work this way. And to do that, I have it mapped out to a hotkey called 5 on my keyboard. So I clicked on it and automatically it's converted it to an editable poly. So if now I want to select an edge or a vertex, it's still counterproductive for me to travel all this way, pick a vertex, then come back here to select a vertex. It's a waste of time. It may seem like a little waste of time, but by the time you calculate all those little times, they tend to accumulate to a bigger loss of time. Yeah, the tools are well laid out, but you need to make the tools accessible to you within your workspace. And aside that, you have all these islands. You have all these islands really standing in the way of your productivity. So you need to get rid of them and be able to work in a view like the expert view, for example. That's work within the view like this, so you don't have all those things disturbing your workflow. Now let's go back and see what we're talking about. Now you've done it up to this extent, but you want to change your shading mode, which is you do around here. Go to wireframe unshaded so I can see the object through, or I want it solid but I still want the wireframes on it all the same. So I go to my stylized, or let's say edges, so I can see this. Now I still need to travel from here to here and back, which is counterproductive. So if you map it to 3 on your keyboard, it makes life a lot easier for you. You don't need to travel. It's counterproductive. So I have this and I can quickly switch. Now going to my extrude tool, you still need to go to your face mode, select your face mode, come back here, pick the face you want to use, then scroll down to look for the extrude tool. This is not working. I'm not enjoying this at all. So get to my extrude tool, pick the tool. Now in the heat of productivity, you can't be traveling around. It doesn't just make any sense. You need to be where you are actually working, not scavenging around looking for tools. So that's why you need to master your hotkeys. 1 is for vertex, 2 is for edges, 3 is for boundary, 4 is for faces, and 5 is for element. Master these hotkeys, and there's going to be other hotkeys we'll be creating in subsequent classes. Now, at the end of this class, you should be able to fly within your 3D Studio Max, and people are just wondering, how on earth do you do this? It's because you have made your tools easily accessible to you, and that is the nugget you need to master. When I said that the Lekki concession job was going to just take us an hour to do, that's productivity. So get it, master it, and see you in the next lecture.